Itu padang kan? Ya boleh gitu. Ya bro. Kera nadi mah. Woi.
Ayo sana.
Lihat dia lantar dulu woi.
Ayo biar nampaknya mana?
Harus aku deh.
Ya.
Dua tenor terus apa mah kau jawab. Tenek dorinya gitu. Iya dong.
Nimeita watu pale bana, naona kama watu wanaona kama nimekula jaba zangu. Wapi? Pale kwa kambi, unajua mimi bali nilikuwa nimekaa. Ile kikofu vile imepikwa.
Sikulikuwa pale.
Imegongwa. Hata toka na habari. Naita watu naona ni kama wanaona nakula vitu zangu. Baba tu vile umeondoka tu.
He was the man trusted to protect the nation, the highest-ranking soldier in Kenya, calm, disciplined, a master strategist. General Francis Omondi Ogolla didn't just lead the Kenya Defense Forces. He was the spine of the system. But on April 18, 2024, in the unforgiving hills of Elgeyo Marakwet, that system broke. A military helicopter lifts into the sky. Moments later, it's tumbling from the air. Fire, silence, confusion, and then shockwaves. The Chief of Defense Forces, gone. 9 others, dead. The official report blames a mechanical failure, but to many Kenyans, it felt like a cover-up. Why was a top-ranking general flying in a decade-old aircraft? Why did the truth take a year to emerge? And what was happening behind the scenes before the crash? This isn't just a story about tragic accident. This is about silence, suspicion, and a death that left more questions than answers. This is the fall of the general. If you're drawn to deep dives like this, real stories, real mysteries, make sure to hit the subscribe button to support our channel. Like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. We read every single one. Now, let's uncover the truth. General Francis Omondi Ogolla was born on February 12, 1962 in Siaya County, Kenya. He was raised in a devout, close-knit family with his father Joel Ayeyo playing a key role in his upbringing. His early education began at Nduru Primary School in Alego, Usonga, where he studied up to class 6 before moving to Lala Primary School in Homa Bay to live with his older brother Canon Oduor. A disciplined and bright student, he sat his KCPE exam and proceeded to Kisumu Technical School and later Amukara Boys High School, where he completed his A-levels education. Even in his youth, Ogolla stood out for his academic discipline, humility, and a quiet determination that would later define his career. After high school, Ogolla's ambition took flight, literally, when he joined the Kenya Defense Forces on April 24, 1984, enrolling in the cadet program. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant on May 6, 1985 and joined the Kenya Air Forces, specializing in aviation. His prowess as a pilot soon took him to the United States, where he trained as a fighter pilot and instructor pilot with the U.S. Air Force, mastering combat aviation and precision flying. Throughout his military education, he deployed a hunger for knowledge and strategic thinking. He earned a diploma in international studies and military science from Egerton University, followed by the Bachelor of Arts first-class honors in political science, armed conflicts, and peace studies, and later a Master of Arts in international studies from the University of Nairobi. He also trained in advanced military strategy at the National Defense College of Kenya and the prestigious École Militia in Paris, gaining a continental and global military perspective. Ogolla's service record was both vast and honorable. In the early 1990s, he served as UN military observer and information officer in the former Yugoslavia during a turbulent period of war, bringing both intellect and calm to the peacekeeping mission. From 1994 to 2004, he chaired the Military Christian Fellowship, reinforcing his commitment not only to service but also to spiritual leadership. Over the years, Ogolla held multiple operational and leadership roles. He was an operations desk officer at Kenya Air Force Headquarters, chief flying instructor at Flying Training School, and later commanding officer of the Tactical Fighters Wing. In 2007, he took command of Laikipia Air Base, and by 2008, he was its base commander, positions in which he reshaped discipline, operations, and training standards. His upward trajectory continued steadily. In 2012, Ogolla was promoted to brigadier and appointed deputy commander of the Air Force. By July 2018, he had earned the rank of Major General, becoming the commander of the Kenya Air Force, where he was instrumental in expanding aerials, capabilities, and international military collaboration. During this time, he also served as co-chair of the Association of Africa Air Chiefs from 2018 to 2019. In 2021, President Uhuru Kenyatta promoted him to Lieutenant General and appointed him Vice Chief of Defense Force and second highest ranking position in the KDF. On April 28, 2023, Ogolla was appointed Chief of the Defense Forces by President William Ruto and sworn in the following day, making him the highest-ranking officer in Kenya's military. Known for his calm leadership, high intellect, and patriotism, he led the military with a deep sense of duty during a time of growing regional insecurity and internal operation such as anti-bandit campaign in the North Rift. Beyond his career, General Ogolla was a devoted family man, married to Eileen Ogolla, with whom he had 2 children, Lorna and Joel, and 1 grandchild, Taji. He enjoyed reading and playing golf, and those close to him often described him as spiritually grounded, humble, intellectually sharp. His career was decorated with numerous national honors, including the Moran of the Golden Hearts, Elder of the Burning Spear, and a Head of State Commendation for exemplary services. On the quiet afternoon of 18th April 2024, the nation was jolted by news that sent tremor through both military ranks and civilian life. General Francis Omondi Ogolla, the Chief of Defense Force, had died in a helicopter crash. The tragedy occurred in Sinda, a remote area of Elgeyo Marakwet County, as he conducted a military tour to inspect troops involved in Operation Maliza Uhalifu, a county banditry mission meant to secure Kenya's volatile North Rift region. General Ogolla had departed from Cheptulel Boys High School earlier that day aboard a Kenya Air Force Bell UH-1H Huey-2 helicopter, accompanied by 10 other officers. Eyewitnesses from the local community later reported hearing a disturbing mechanical sputter, an abrupt and loud screeching sound, followed by silence, and then the sickening crash into the rough terrain below. 9 of the 11 on board perished instantly, including the general, only 2 survived, one of them the pilot. The country plunged into mourning. President William Ruto, visibly shaken, made a public address that evening confirming Ogolla's death and declaring 3 days of national mourning. Flags flew at half-mast across all government institutions. The Kenya Defense Forces described the fallen general as a true patriot who died in the line of duty, carrying out one of the final acts of service, leading from front. But as the dust settled, the nation mourned. Questions began to rise. In the days following the crash, a board of inquiry was constituted by the Ministry of Defense, composed of senior military engineers, flight safety experts, and investigators. There was intense public interest. People wanted answer. Was this truly an accident? Could sabotage have played a role? Why did the country's highest-ranking military officer travel in such an old helicopter model? For a year, the silence was deafening. It wasn't until April 2025, just before the first anniversary of Ogolla's death, that the ministry released its official findings. The crash, it concluded, was caused by catastrophic engine failure, specifically a compressor stall in the turbine engine. Investigators noted that shortly after takeoff, there was low rotor RPM warnings, a sharp left yaw, and a sudden loss of power, indicating the aircraft was no longer under pilot's control. It crashed seconds later. The report cleared the pilot of any wrongdoing, ruling out human error. While this brought a degree of closure to the military and Ogolla's family, not everyone was convinced. Across social media, town halls, churches, and maybe even parliament, the air was thick with skepticism. A large segment of Kenyans couldn't shake off the unease. How does the Chief of Defense Forces, our most protected soldier, die in a routine flight over friendly territory? People asked, why wasn't he flying in a more modern and secure military aircraft? Why did it take a whole year to release the report? Eugene Wamalwa, an opposition figure and former defense minister, publicly questioned the findings. In a fiery speech, he criticized the report's vague technical language, asking whether there had been deliberate attempts to bury the truth under aviation jargon. He demanded that Parliament form an independent inquest to investigate whether there had been foul play, citing Ogolla's powerful position and the political dynamics surrounding his appointment. Others pointed fingers at the age of maintenance of military equipment. The Bell UH-1H, often called the Huey, is a Vietnam-era aircraft, retrofitted for modern use, but still decades old. Many Kenyans asked why such crucial leader would be flying in what they deemed as outdated second-hand coffee. Still, in Ogolla's hometown of Moore village in Siaya and among many ordinary Kenyans, the general was mourned with reverence. At his simple burial, due to his humble wishes, wrapped in a cloth and buried without a coffin, mourners wept openly. His death felt not like the loss of a soldier, but the end of a stabilizing force. In a country where mistrust of institutions ran deep, Ogolla had gained respect across ethnic, religious, and political lines. General Ogolla was not just military leader, he was a symbol. He represented discipline, intellect, and humility. For many young KDF officers, he was a mentor. For civilians, he was one of the few public servants seen as incorruptible. His death reopened conversations around transparency in military operations, the conditions of defense infrastructure, and whether leaders, regardless of ranks, are truly protected in the line of duty. Though the government moved swiftly to honor him with a 19-gun salute, ceremonial flags, and a state military funeral, the question surrounding his death remains part of national debate. For many Kenyans, the loss of General Francis Ogolla was not just tragic, it was haunting. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, sparked questions, or opened your eyes to a truth you hadn't considered, don't leave without letting us know. Hit the like button, drop a comment below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to support this channel and the work we do. Every view, every voice, and every share helps keep stories like this alive. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay awake.